Hey everyone, Matt here from Docs Running, and today we're going to do a video review of the Asics Metaspeed LD. So this is one of the distance slash super spikes that are now out there on the market. Other competitors include stuff like the Adidas Avanti TYO, which I have reviewed on Docs Running. Other shoes like the Nike Dragonfly, which I have run in but have not reviewed. I haven't seen a lot of reviews on this, so I want to get some information out there because I want to know what's the deal with the $250 track spike, distance spike. So I grabbed a pair. This is a personal purchase from Running Warehouse, and I've gotten some mileage on them. I've got about 3-4 track workouts on these now, about 12-13 miles on them. And I want to get some information out so people can make some informed decisions, just because, like I said, track season's coming. So what's the deal with a $250 track spike? So coming off the bat, the specs that I do have, 4.2 ounces for men's size 9. I can confirm that these are very, very light. A full-length carbon fiber plate that comes up into the midsole here, but is more external on the outsole here. And it's got these, there's no like adjustable spikes, but there's these rigid here that grip the track really well, and we'll come back to that in a second. Full-length flight foam turbo throughout. It's more noticeable in the heel when I'm landing here. It's a little stiffer up front. Again, we'll mention that. A full-length, nice, really secure mesh up top that fits really, really well. Laces are a little odd, but we'll get into that. But it's a pretty solid track spike. But let's talk about, is it really worth $250? And my initial thought is, I don't think it's worth $250. So I would definitely encourage you to find this on sale. But there are some great things about this that I want to dive into. And first, let's dive into fit. So this shoe fits fairly normal. I would say it fits a little bit long for me, where I kind of, when it comes to track spike fits, I like them to fit snug and comfortable. The size 10 for this, I'm normally a size 10. I need to wear my normal thick socks for this to fit normally. It feels just a teeny bit long, but once I get into track workouts, it's been fine. So if you want normal size and you want a little bit more room, because this thing fits narrow, if you want a little more room, go true to size. But if you have more narrow feet and you want a really snug fit, you might be able to go half size down, just because this does have a little extra room out there. Not a ton, but just enough where you've either got to wear socks or go a half size down. The internal mesh I have, it's fairly comfortable, so I've had no issues wearing this sockless. I haven't done a lot just because it was a teeny bit long for me, so I really needed socks, but it's been fairly good. I haven't had any hot spots. It's been great. The upper is really secure. The laces are kind of weird in that you have to kind of tighten down each one to get a secure fit. Initially, there was a little bit more wiggle room that I would have liked. Again, it does fit fairly narrow, although somewhat normal for a track spike. Definitely fits narrower than the Dragonfly and the Adidas Avanti TYO, but you can adjust these here to get a kind of secure, a custom fit, but it takes time to kind of get each one to where you want it to be. It's been fine. I haven't had the lace lock it, had no heel slippage, so it's been fine, but it just takes some time to get that secure fit, but you can lock it down as you want to because the laces really, really stay in place, which is nice. Again, narrow fit, not a super anatomic shoe, but if you need a little bit more room, I would stay true to size. Moving down to the midsole, so you've got this, again, full-length carbon fiber plate that also extends and becomes these spikes or nubs or whatever you want to call them. It definitely feels a lot more cushion like the track spikes I remember back from when I was in college, where there's actually some material here. If you land in the rear foot, it's got this nice turbo bounce to it. It's like, wow, there's like more shoe. It feels like a more cushioned, but still almost like not the super high stack shoes, but the more moderate, super light racing shoes that kind of were the bridge between what we have now and then the super minimal shoes. So there's still some solid cushion here for a track spike. I think this would be one of my top choices if I was going to run a 10K. Just because it's got a surprising amount here. It's not a super shoe, but it's definitely a super stack for a spike. So nice cushion and bouncing the rear foot. I personally have found that when I land back here in the rear foot is when I get the best ride for me, because I'm a rear foot striker, and if I force a forefoot strike, it doesn't feel as well. So I bounce here, I got the turbo cushioning, and then roll and pivot off the super stiff spike plate. This is the stiffest spike I have ever tried. The TYO has some flexibility from Adidas. The Dragonfly, even though it has a full-length plate, I don't think it's carbon. I think it's PMAX plate, and it's got some flexibility. This is carbon. There is no flexibility here. So the first workout I did in this, my calves were a little wrecked, and this is coming from a guy who's doing 75-pound single-leg heel raises. So I was like, whoa, okay. So I can actually understand why, distance-wise, there have been some Asics athletes that have been using this for the 1500 and running like 330. I get it. If you can put that much force into the ground, these things are super stiff, and you're going to like that. If you're like me, who's not that fast, not nearly that fast, getting up front feels really firm. If you want a stiff, firm, responsive shoe up front and you're a forefoot striker, you're gonna love this shoe. For me, it feels better in the rear foot. So softer in the rear foot, more of the foam, stiff and firmer in the forefoot. And it feels good at pretty much all paces for that reason. I've done short 200s, 400s, even a mile long effort, which for me is longer distance on the track, at least right now I'm trying to get my fitness back. And yeah, it feels good at all those paces. Just know that the stiffness, you got to really work on your calf strength, because my calves start to get a little bit wrecked at those longer distances. But if you're used to track spikes, this is going to be great. And I think this is going to be a shoe that can handle even like 800 probably. I'm not an 800 runner, but definitely mile, 5K, and if you're strong enough, definitely up to 10K. There's plenty of cushion, I think, for those kind of efforts, unless you want to use a super shoe. The grip is really good. There's only one issue with this, is that these don't do well on super hard tracks, like those really stiff tracks. That's not true. They do decently, but they grip far better into those super soft tracks. You've got a really bouncy soft track, this stuff is going to grip really, really well. If you've got one of those older, harder tracks, it grips, but it just can be a little bit clicky is the best way I'd say. It just makes a lot of noise, but that's also my gait. The shark skin back here in the rear foot grips really, really well. I've had no security issues back there. I do really appreciate that there is a bevel. That's not super common, but now that you're getting a little more stack height, rear foot transition, really smooth. Toe off, again, stiff, but it'll roll you forward. There's a bevel here that will not break there. And yeah, so it's a great spike. I've really enjoyed it. And I think if you want this level of stiffness, I think, you know, $250 discount is going to be good. But honestly, there's some things that I think need to be a little bit adjusted. Like, I would like to see this a little bit softer in the forefoot. Yes, it's super aggressive. Yeah, the fit is fairly narrow. So if you got a narrow foot, you're going to like this. But I just want a little bit more oomph for $250. For 150 or 160, I think this would be great. I think that's where a lot of very high level super foam track spikes are coming out right now. We've got the Fuel Cell, New Balance Fuel Cell LD that's finally coming to the United States. That's got a carbon fiber plate and some of their Fuel Cell foam that's coming in at 160. You've got the Dragonfly, I think at 150, the Adidas Avanti, which is in the same range. You've got a carbon plated shoe from Under Armour spike that I can't remember how much it costs, but it's got a P-Bax foam and it's still within that range. So I think if you like Asics and you like Turbo, I would look to see where you can get this discounted. Asics has discounts all the time that I would encourage you to look at, but $250 is a really steep price for the spike. Am I enjoying it? Yes. Is it expensive? Yes. Is there some kind of like oddities with the fit that I wish, you know, I could kind of get a little bit more dialed in, but I can use socks? Yeah, it's fine. Is it probably the stiffest shoe spike available at the moment, depending on when you're watching this? This is December of 2022. Yes, this is the stiffest track spike you can probably find right now. So that's something you're interested in and you've got the money to spend, go for it. For me personally, I'm going to be looking forward to some of the other spikes, but I'm going to keep getting workouts on this. I'm going to get a full written review. I'm going to challenge my students to a mile race, and they probably know this, but if any of my students from the DPT school at West Coast, if they can beat me, the whole class gets boba. So yeah, I'm going to need to be running really fast. So I'll keep getting some miles on these and get a full written review. But that's the video review for right now. And I'm curious to know, what do you think about a $250 track spike, right? What would you want in a shoe that a track spike that costs that much? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you've tried this too, and let me know your thoughts, because I'm really curious about what people are thinking, because I'm not seeing a lot. So let me know.